Mr. Speaker, let me begin at page 17 of the budget presentation by the Minister of Finance, Ashni Kumar Singh. Mr. Speaker, this PPP government vision for Guyana was elaborated in a manifesto on the basis of which we were elected to office. That vision was further elaborated by His Excellency's inaugural address before the National Assembly. Our plan for the near future is to keep people safe and continue to nurture the economy. For the medium term, our plan is to make Guyana an economic powerhouse, where every single Guyanese person can live, learn, work, and retire in dignity and comfort. Where national prosperity is a reality, and where individual prosperity is a realistic prospect for all who are prepared to invest the required effort. The achievement of that objective requires a broad-based, resilient, productive sector, including vibrant industrial and manufacturing sector, creating jobs for emergence of a dynamic entrepreneurial and small business sector. Additionally, it requires an education sector that equips all of our people, including those seeking alternative pathways to work, with the skills that they need to play meaningful roles in the economy of today and of tomorrow. Foremost amongst these will be technical and technological-based skills. Finally, it requires all of the other prerequisites for improved quality of the being in place, including world-class healthcare facilities and programs to nurture our most vulnerable, as well as facilities and programs to encourage and promote the talents of our young people. Mr. Speaker, language of scholarship. Mr. Speaker, an economic trust, a developmental pathway. Mr. Speaker, studious in nature. And then 3 days after, the Honorable Attorney, the Honorable Opposition Leader, 3 days after, this is his response to this language. The budget is like a jet. The wheels are taking off. The cockpit is malfunctioning, and the pilot is flying a dream. The budget hasn't taken off as yet. One time it's took off and then it hasn't taken off. But it has crashed. Mr. Speaker, what you have here, and you could listen to the tone of the member that spoke before me, is a budget presentation coming from that side that will be puerile in nature, full of banality, profanity, and nothing that will uplift the people of this cooperative republic. Mr. Speaker, it's a people that is bankrupt of ideas. Backyard conversation. They discuss political and economic development with Rumshab Giaf, standpipe argument and backyard conversation. No depth, no understanding of matters. And so, Mr. Speaker, that is why the speaker before me had to present to this National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, I have been around here in this National Assembly for 22 years. And Mr. Speaker, you have been here longer than I have been. And today, I have heard in this National Assembly the most shameless race-based conversation in this country. Shameless! Mr. Speaker, the Speaker before me went on to speak about Afro-Guyanese. She's a member of Parliament in Linden. What have you done for Afro-Guyanese in Linden? Your government was in power for 5 years. Is Linden a changed place economically? The answer to that question is N or no. Is Buxton a changed place? The answer is no. Is Anns Grove a changed place? The answer is no. Is Golden Grove a changed place? The answer is no. Is Denham still a changed place? The answer is no. Whichever region you go to, the answer is no, because the UPNU AFC did not deliver for the Guyanese people, regardless of whatever race they belong to. And you come into this National Assembly and speak all kinds of profane language, shedding tears for Afro-Guyanese. You had your opportunity to deliver goods and services for Afro-Guyanese. What did you do? N-O-T-H-I-N-G. Mr. Speaker, the tone of this budget debate will be this government of ours presenting to the Guyanese people a plan of progress and development. And over there, what we will have is bankrupt thoughts, nothing of substance, nothing that will change the lives of the Guyanese people. And that is the reason why, let me say this, you could shout how much you want over there. The economic development train has left the station. You cannot stop it. You cannot hold it back. And that is the reason why today you are becoming irrelevant even among your own supporters. Nobody listens to you and your nonsense talk. Nobody cares about you because they know you have nothing to offer to this country. Mr. Speaker, and then many persons recognizing that that ship of nothingness is sinking, they're jumping off of it. Who jumps off a good ship? And so, Mr. Speaker, what you will have a gentleman who will stand up here someday in this week, a fuel smuggler and a person who is a tax evader will tell us about jurisprudence and law and constitution and good governance. You will have another gentleman who set up a gun license corporation to benefit himself. Talk about how good their government was. And then you will have another gentleman who will stand up and he will speak about the virtues of UPNU and AFC. But what did he do in government? All kinds of corrupt transactions, selling out state lands. Where is the signature on it? Mr. Speaker, and then you will have bangles, bed sheets, and pillows. He will speak also about his virtues. A man who has taken government money and he has bought chest to draw and bed sheets and pillows and pillowcase. Shameless. And then you will have the other lady who requested not a bangle like his, she wants one that is the leaf. Mr. Speaker, oh, and then, Mr. Speaker, you will have the great calypso will be sung very shortly. Chagdas, Liar the Liar will speak to us about all these virtual classrooms. Even though the teachers they say don't exist, even though the children say don't exist, even though the media went to the schools and it don't exist, I am confident, Mr. Speaker, that will be repeated in this National Assembly, that shameless untruth. Mr. Speaker, and then you will have on that side of town the man who used all kinds of fraud to acquire $5 million of barber chairs and mirrors. He will speak about Afro-Guyanese and what we're not doing for them. But the same gentleman, Mr. Speaker, he threw off land. A Rasta man and his wife who was on the land for 30 years, they were Afro-Guyanese. Mr. Speaker, and then you will have the person who told great untruths to the OAS and the leaders of this world. Mr. Speaker, and then you will have profanity coming from the lady that jumps out of a man's body regularly. Mr. Speaker, and then you will have, speaking after the lady that jumps out of the man's body regularly, Yuri's cousin, I'm told she is doing Ponzi scheme where she resides. Mr. Speaker, and then you will have the other gentleman who cannot account for $155 million of SLED money. He will regale us with how much he has done for our Indian communities. And so, I saw the other gentleman is not there. He took $5.7 million of state money and he bought some flying pigs with it. And if that profanity was not enough, the fraud committed was to purport to be a co-op society when it was not. It was just a hustler society. The fraud is compounded by taking government money and placing the pig pens on private land that belongs to his brother. These are the people. And they will come here with all kinds of righteousness and holiness, quoting scriptures. But you know the important thing is, the people of this country don't believe you at all. That's why you will stay over there perpetually. The same conversation, Mr. Speaker, that you heard from the speaker before me, the same conversation, Mr. Speaker, they took to the population in 2020. And you know what was the end result? The People's Progressive Party Civic being victorious, and that is the reason why we sit here today as the government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And so, Mr. Speaker, you know, the ministry that I set over, it had 4 ministers under this cabal. 4 ministers. And you know what? They brought labor relations and the structures to manage and supervise labor relations to not 4 ministers. One of them, I'm told, the only good thing he had about him, he had the best ministerial bar. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, none of the things you say will matter. Nothing you say will matter. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Labor has 6 technical departments that were not nurtured. Mr. Speaker, our people were dying under the stewardship of this government. Mr. Speaker, they were dying in the mining pits. They were dying in the construction sites. Yet the APNU AFC government saw it not fit to train and to employ more occupation safety and health officers. In a matter of 5 months, this PPP civic government, we have increased the complement of occupation safety and health officer from 9 to 30, threefold, because we recognize the importance of the lives of our people on work sites. Mr. Speaker, the Occupation Safety and Health Department, presently, we are reviewing legislation to deal with the oil and gas sector. These people were in government for 5 years. They paid no attention to it. Now attention. It's like if we did not need safety and health. Secondly, the COVID-19 pandemic came upon us, and they did not understand that it was important to include in the framework of managing COVID-19 the occupation, safety, and health. So, Mr. Speaker, this year, we will ensure that in every region, first time in the history of this country, we will have occupation, safety, and health officers placed in all regions in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to supervise the work of people. Mr. Speaker, again, labor relations, all kinds of advantage being taken on employees, and yet they saw no need to increase the complement of labor officers. In 5 months, we will increase labor officers' complement from 16 to 26 and ensure that in every region outside of Region 4, 2 labor officers are placed there. Mr. Speaker, nonsense said the fuel smuggler. Mr. Speaker, the Central Recruitment and Management Authority of the Ministry of Labor the role of the CRMA, Mr. Speaker, is to contribute and examine the social development of Guyana, providing effective and efficient employment services to job seekers and employers. Mr. Speaker, again, no strategy, no program, no plan to develop that department. It was left in the hands of a pedestrian who purports to be minister, a man who the courts ruled was not even qualified to be in the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, the plans going forward is to improve the academic qualifications and our skills for job seekers. Mr. Speaker, the Board of Industrial Training was not utilized in the way for which the law said it must be utilized. It was more designed to service Region 4 and Georgetown. Today, the Board of Industrial Training and its programs will be expanded to every region through the length and breadth of Guyana. Never before it has happened. We have already appointed Board of Industrial Training officers to every region in this country. We hope to train 3,500 persons through the length and breadth of this country in the next year. Mr. Speaker, recognizing the importance of a collaborative program to deal with skills training, already, Mr. Speaker, myself, the Honorable Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth, and the Honorable Minister of Human Services, we have already sat down to cooperate and to collaborate and to jointly execute programs through the length and breadth of Guyana to give skills to the Guyanese people. What did you do? What have you done? Other than scream, other than talk nonsense, what have you done? Put your short ship on the line. Mr. Speaker, the member before me spoke, and the member said, Honorable, there is no transformational program in the budget. I mean, could you believe that? Could you believe that when the tenders for the execution of the Demerara River Bridge is already out there? Could you believe that? The Quarantine River Bridge, the feasibility study is already there. Mr. Speaker, could you believe that the highway project that Bangles could not do in 5 years is on its way? Mr. Speaker, APNU AFC is incapable of conceptualizing anything big. Incapable. APNU AFC went to the negotiations with ExxonMobil, and instead of asking for $280 million signing bonus, they asked for $18 million, and they were just happy. Happy! And so the people are not fooled with your theatrics. You have now resigned yourself to dealing with the last straw you have. And it was articulated by the speaker who spoke first on your behalf today. Race baiting, racism, that's the only thing you have left. Nothing of substance. Nothing to speak about the development of this country. When you condemn any program we have in this budget, there is no program you can put to match. You have no substitute for any project. You have no substitute for any program. Mr. Speaker, and then The honorable member, some 3 minutes into our racist tirade, the honorable member, spoke to foreign affairs, and she fabricated and did fiction writing about the matter. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me make this clear, because in her passing mention, she took a swipe at my colleague, the Honorable Prime Minister. And this regular swipe they take at us who are of Afro-Guyanese heritage. Let me say this profoundly. The intellect and capacity that is in Mark Williams' foot, your leader don't have it from head to toe. I hope that put that to rest, so that none of you over there can stand up and start to continue again, because you came primed not to speak to this budget. You came primed to speak racist talk in this National Assembly. That is what you all came to. And I'm saying that your racist conversation does not move us. We have a responsibility to the people of Guyana, and we would ensure we carry out that responsibility faithfully. And whilst we do that, you will be bystanders. You will be standing by. You will be a bystander. Empty. Look. Yeah, empty. Yes. The only time this gentleman had swagger in him, it was when he was in government. Today he's a beaten, downtrodden backyard person. Has now stature in society, Mr. Speaker, because government has been taken away from him. Mr. Speaker, so bangles are over there. We have, Kwame, you brought your bangle? Mr. Speaker, we continue training of our officers. And just yesterday, I had an engagement with the Chinese Association. And it is the first time, Mr. Speaker, where the Ministry of Labor will be ensuring that our officers be given language training to deal with the influx of migrants, Portuguese, Spanish, and Mandarin. Never before. This cabal did nothing. They could not in their head conceptualize the need for that. Mr. Speaker, the Public Service Ministry speaks. Mr. Speaker, trade union recognition. Trade union recognition. Of the girl or the boy going out? Which one?
Honorable Minister, I recognize your time is up. You need 5 minutes to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to ask for a 5 minutes extension in keeping with the agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, you may continue.
Mr. Speaker, you hear the screams over there? It is like when you throw hot water in a pig pen. It means that I have done well in the last half hour. The screams, no, girl, don't give me 5 more minutes. I will be very diplomatic in the last 5 minutes. I will not speak about the untruths to the OAS. I will not speak about the bangles. and the leaf bracelets. I will not speak about the gun license. I will not speak about the fuel smuggling. Mr. Speaker, let me say this. No, I will not speak about the classrooms that don't exist. Mr. Speaker, what is clear? I started putting before this National Assembly profound statement on page 17 in the budget presented by the finance minister of this government. And I, even before the first speaker spoke, predicted that there will be nothing to match anything that will be said over here. Nothing to substitute, because no substance exists over here. Banality, profanity, puerility, that is what you will hear. Oh my God. Nothing that is progressive, nothing that is uplifting, nothing that speaks to the economic viability and development of the lives of the Guyanese people. Nothing they can put on the table in the next 4 days. Nothing. What is important to note? The next time you block the road, you will know voice will go. Mr. Speaker, the next 4 days, we will be treated to profound and developmental trust. We will be treated to thoughts that will develop this country. And then over there, you will hear about the jets. You will not hear about how and what they will do. You know, importantly, the APNU AFC, they have 3 regions that they control. And I can predict they will not come here 2 regions, or they're decreasing. 2 regions that they control. And you know what? They will not even come here and speak to a development plan for those regions that they control, with all the thought that the speaker before me had to say. Failed to put before this National Assembly and the people of Region 10 a program, a plan, something that is different to what is presented in our budget. The representatives of Region 4, the same thing. They will have nothing to say about agricultural development. They will have nothing to say about educational development coming out of the region that they control. Because whether they're top tier, middle tier, or low tier APNU AFC operative, they are the same. They have nothing to offer the people of Guyana. So, Mr. Speaker, our case is made. Our case is made, and we will continue to make it. And we are sure, we are confident, like the people of Guyana accepted our arguments at the March 2020 elections and elected us to government, they will continue to support us to ensure that this country is transformed. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.